Yep, it's working. Should be. We're live on YouTube and X, so it wouldn't be streaming if it wasn't live on Rumble. And everyone can hear my fucking mic too, because I didn't mute it. Five, four, three, two, one. Let's go. And I knew it. I fucking knew it. I forgot something. Hold on. Shawn, you're not on here. Hold on. Here we go. But you'll be on here right now. There we are. All right. It only took like 5 seconds of fuckery. You know, I did too much. I juggled. We were just talking about this before the show. I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna try YouTube today." And I don't know if it's gonna work. So we are now streaming to YouTube. I actually have a big channel over there. I haven't. Let me look. Hold on. I think my last post on YouTube must have been my channel. My last post on YouTube, I think was hold on, videos 8 months ago. 8 months ago. It was something about Israel. 10 months ago was the Carl Higbee thing. And yeah, the reason I don't do YouTube is obviously because it's fucking YouTube. It's like,
Right.
so what we're gonna do, guys, all right, on tonight's show is we're not gonna do what other creators do, where it's like, oh, let's watch what you say. No. Listen, YouTube is gonna ban me when they ban me. The show's been sitting there parked collecting dust anyway. So if it gets banned, fuck it. If it doesn't, fuck it. I don't care. But
Yeah.
I will stream.
No, yeah, because this, eggs are not in the basket
Yeah,
of
I will
YouTube right now.
stream until they ban me. Rumble is the main
Exactly.
channel. If you guys
It's not like you've never been banned
yeah,
before.
no. Never. You know what's fucked up, and we should talk about this, is that fucking Zuckerberg thing. Where it's like, yo, Zuckerberg just came out and dropped a video going, we've been doing everything that you've been saying we're doing, but we're not gonna do it anymore because Trump won. I mean, that's exactly what that was. Anybody
Yeah, and it's funny because they swore up and
that they
down
weren't doing
that you were a conspiracy theorist if you even uttered the word shadow
Dude,
ban.
and have you seen Joy Reid is freaking the fuck out? Like, everyone's freaking out. Like,
Well, that's not
they're
new.
gonna get.
Joy Reid wakes
Well,
up freaking
the
out.
left is freaking out at them because they're like,
Right.
you're gonna get rid of fact checkers? How dare you? How dare you get rid of our fucking propaganda machine? And now that it's so wild, man. Listen, anyone who looks at Sank fucking from the Young Turks or Mark Zuckerberg or anyone else, right? If you look at any of these people that only jumped in after Trump won, yo, fuck those people, all right? Like let them in, kind of. You know, kind of, you got to use them, right? But I mean, anyone who really is like, oh, look it, they're changing. I mean, dude, I have some oceanfront property to sell you in Oklahoma if you fucking think these people.
I got some Oceanfront
Eh,
property in
It's so
Arizona.
wild, man.
Long live the king. Long live the king.
He,
George Strait. Long live the king.
with a straight face, and I mean straight as in literal and figurative, because Mark Zuckerberg is a fucking cyborg who has a
He's a yeah.
he has a perfectly symmetrical face.
If
So
lizard people were actually real,
yeah,
I
Mark
found one.
with with a straight and symmetrical face, that motherfucker was like, so look, here's what we're gonna do, okay? X is now kicking our ass, so we're gonna do what they do. Like,
Right.
and
And
Trump
and my thing about that is like, okay, so I don't trust him at
no,
all.
no,
Why should we?
no.
However, if he does if he does roll back the censorship on
It's a
who cares about
it's
Facebook,
a net
but
positive.
Instagram, net positive,
It's
but I'm not going to build my life on Meta.
Well, that's the
Like,
thing.
fuck
My
no.
biggest platform right now is Instagram. So I have 95,000 followers. If I
Hmm.
start seeing a huge jump, I'm not going to complain about it. If they stop
No,
censoring me on Instagram, I'm not going to complain about it. But let's be real. The reason that they're doing it is not because of some altruistic change of heart. It's not because
no, it's a
Mark
business decision.
Zuckerberg, like 8 or 9 months ago, when he started drinking fucking Bud Lights and doing fucking holding up an American flag while following a boat, he's smart. Listen. There isn't a fucking billionaire on the planet that isn't smart, and I'm tired of you fucking people saying there is. All right, these people are smart. They're not stupid people. They're rich for a reason. Mark saw the writing on the wall a while ago, and he covered his bases. He was like, I'm going to start looking a little more conservative because there's a X amount of chance that Trump wins. And he so
Right after the assassination attempt in Butler is when it
he goes,
started. He was like, "Oh, I had a lot of respect for
yeah,
him and
yeah.
this, that."
Right.
Fine. By the way,
He goes,
fine.
he goes,
Totally
oh
cool.
shit, that didn't work. Okay, plan B. Like Mario fucking
Right.
plan B. Plan
Exactly.
B. Guess who's a conservative now?
And again, like I'm fine with I'm okay with people who have a change of heart.
You
That's
know,
fine. And if you're going to roll back censorship on your platform, that's
yeah.
also fine, right? Because I like free speech. I don't want there to not be free speech on a platform just so I have something to be
Yeah.
upset about, you
Here's
know?
what
But at the same time, I'm not going to sit there and put all my eggs in the meta basket because we've seen what he can do
okay,
like this,
here's a
right?
here's
So,
my I got some, my analogy brain. I'm thinking of a good one because I got two in my head. I got one for a friend and one for a woman. I think I'm gonna go with friend. Okay. Friend. All right. So the friend analogy is your friend is your friend until they fuck you over. Your friend is your best friend until they fuck you over, and then they're just your friend, right? And if they fuck you over hard enough, they're an acquaintance. Okay, we need to put these people into the acquaintance pile. Okay, they're like, so
correct.
like RFK Jr. I would say is in the friend pile, not best friend. He's in the friend pile. Same with Vivek. Like a fucking Ron DeSantis, right? Like people that criticize Trump, but I truly believe that what they believe what they're saying
Right.
are in the friend pile, right? Fucking Sank and fucking Zuckerberg and anyone else, the fucking acquaintance pile.
Maybe Sank is an acquaintance.
Yeah, Mick,
Maybe.
he's not even really an acquaintance. He's like, I'll tolerate you. Like you can,
Right. Like he's him and Fetterman are on the same
yeah,
island right now.
we can be in the same room and
Though I like Fetterman a little more right now
Fetterman.
because Fetterman's actually going to vote for some of Trump's
you
picks and he's going to vote for the Lake and Riley
Yeah, he's
bill.
gonna
I'm
vote.
like,
Yeah.
this guy, he's getting
Ruben
close.
Gallego surprised me when he got on board with that. But politicians are,
Arizona,
yeah,
you know,
exactly. It's a politician thing. Like
yeah,
being smart.
fine. Again, fine.
With Fetterman, I never.
Totally fine. You're a senator from the state of Arizona. There's a lot of Republicans there. You should be serving
Yeah,
them. The only person, I think we talked about this, the only person that I would give a pass to, like a Susan Collins, who's literally in a purple state. So she
yeah.
should be a moderate.
Yo, we did
Lisa
talk about this.
Murkowski in Alaska,
Yeah.
there are more polar bears in Alaska than there are Democrats.
Yes, correct.
So there's no
So,
reason for her to behave the way she behaves.
yes, correct. And the thing about like Fetterman, I never disliked Fetterman. I thought Fetterman was actually retarded. Like I'm like that guy's a stroke victim. He's wearing a tuxedo t-shirt. He's embarrassing. He didn't actually beat a doctor. I think they stole that election. I think that election was rigged. But I never disliked him as a he never had enough credibility with me for me to dislike him. So when he started acting cool, I liked him. Like I went from I
I
went
did
from
not like him in the 2022 cycle because
but he's
when he was lieutenant governor of Pennsylvania, he did some bad
yeah,
stuff. He was an ally to cop killers and
but
stuff.
he
Wanted
was
to
a
put them on the board of pardons. It was
yeah, I
bad.
know, but he was a puppet. He's retarded. He's like literally like not he's just like Joe Biden. He's not doing the
But even
job.
before the stroke, he was doing bad
Oh, I don't
stuff.
know about
Before
that.
the
I
stroke,
don't
he
know
was.
anything
Yeah,
about it. Yeah.
that's why I didn't like him. I didn't care about but when he had his stroke, I was like, okay, this guy's a zombie. But like his history before the
Oh,
stroke,
I don't know any part of
like
that.
hard left, hard left.
Okay. Well
Now
then, you know
again,
what?
maybe he's coming to his
Well,
senses.
maybe
Fine,
the stroke actually literally made him more like
it's
like
possible.
Republican. Like his brain got fucked up. So if his brain we rewired him into like it maybe it just like it zapped the part where he was fucking indoctrinated, then cool. Like I'm cool with that.
Sure,
But
that's
yeah,
fine.
so anyway, I forgot how that started.
Friends and
Yeah,
acquaintances.
no, it's before that, but I was like, you know what we should talk about is the fucking thing. Anyway, let's get into let's get into the weekly breakdown. I got 3 slides here. We got Thursday from last week, yesterday and today. So Thursday's headlines were obviously it happened on I believe Thursday, the terrorist attacks, and the only headline we have is for the New Orleans one because when I was live, the Trump Tower bombing didn't happen yet.
Hmm.
But yeah, so we got the radical Islamic terrorist, and that's the way I'm describing it. I'm not
Well,
talking about
what's interesting? Why would you do that when he's carrying an ISIS flag? Clearly, he's a Jew.
yeah, yeah, but Candace,
Like,
and you know what's funny, dude? This is hilarious, right? So this is how oop, I went the wrong one. There we go. Um, I literally was doing it in almost a joking way, but at the same time, I was like, okay, can't wait for somebody to blame the Jews for this shit. And it was a serious post. It wasn't a joke post like I normally do. My post was something along the lines of, "Can't wait for somebody to blame the Jews for this shit." Yeah, fuck you. I can't fucking believe you people are so fucking focused on Israel right now when we got a real fucking problem with the fucking death to America people. You know, like and sure enough, 20 minutes later, Candace Owens is like, "Let me guess. Who was I? Obviously, he was controlled by fucking like the Jews somehow. Somehow she made it about the Jews. It's
yeah,
lit because
it's
oh,
unbelievable when it's a radical
I
Islamic
remember now. I
terrorist.
remember now. The Mossad actually created created ISIS
Oh,
along with the
okay,
CIA. So that's how you
right,
blame the Jews for literally everything. You know, I
right.
don't know if you heard me say this. I think I did it live where I was the best analogy I can give these people. It was actually really it was like a light bulb moment. It's 6 degrees to Kevin Bacon, right? It's what it is. It's 6 degrees to Kevin Bacon but with Jews.
Yeah,
You can literally tie any famous person to Kevin Bacon within 6 degrees, and you can do the same thing with a Jew. They're like, oh, the fucking Jews control everything. The Jews control the banks. The Jews control this. The Jews... Well, how? Why? How? Oh, because look at this CEO. Yeah, well, okay. So a Jew is just there? Like, so Barry White, what's his name? Nick Fuentes was like, Barry Weiss is an Israeli spy. And I was like, everybody I quoted I did a fake quote. I go, everybody I disagree with is an Israeli spy, Nick Fuentes. And then people are like, no, she really is an Israeli spy. And I'm like, okay, why and how? Apparently when she went to journalism school, an ex-spy also worked at the newspaper she worked at. So now Barry Weiss is a fucking Israeli spy.
right, right. Just like today, somebody disagreed with me for my Candace post on Twitter, and I was all of a sudden paid by Israel to post what I
Yeah,
post.
dude.
So it basically, I was like, so anytime I post something that you don't agree with, it's because somebody put me up to it
Yo,
financially. I got it. That's cool, but you're in a cult. Like,
Yo,
like
do you
that's what
guys
it
want to
is.
see my fucking bank account? All right. If do you have any idea?
That's what everybody
Do
said.
you,
Everybody hopped into my replies and they were like, "Where do we find some of these Jews that are
dude, I
paying
mean, dude,
people?"
I'm not even fucking joking. It has been rough. I have my look at. That money I raised from my mom, when I say I don't touch it, I mean I'm not touching it. This is my fucking bank account. There is $102 in there as of 3 days ago. I just got a fucking deposit for a job, so now I'm solid again. But I mean, I don't have. If I could get Jew money, trust me, right? I would take it. Like,
Go
like,
get it.
it's like because I would be saying this stuff anyway. You want to pay me for what I'm already saying? Okay, that's always been my rule. My rule is I will take money from anybody who wants to pay me for what I'm already saying. Right? I will never say something for money, but if I'm already saying it, and some Jew is like, "I'd like to give you $5,000," I'm like, "Yeah, okay, I'll take it."
Okay, for
Fucking,
sure.
if I trust me, if I had Jew money, you'd know I'd have a lot more guns. Um, fucking,
Good point.
it's
Good
like
point.
insane. So, um,
Story checks
but I
out.
mean, it's like it really is. They've become NPCs. They've literally become NPCs where it's like you can predict what they're gonna say. It's like, oh, who paid you? Israel pay you to do this? You sound Jewish. Like it's the same thing, and it's an anon under 500 follower account every
Every
time with
time,
and
every
the
time. One person was like, someone said to me today, "You're getting downgraded,"
I
and I went,
did.
I said, "Let me forward you a picture of my crying face because some rando downgraded me on the
I
internet." Oh wait, never mind. I
I
don't
con
care.
I
I
I
don't
commented
care.
under that comment. I said, "Don't worry, I upgraded him before you downgraded him. Uno reverse card, bitch." I
Canceled it
canceled it
out.
out.
And then my other favorite is, "Oh, you're going to lose followers now." I'm like, this is me not
Yeah,
caring. If I
yeah,
lose you because I think Candace Owens is stupid for her everything is the Jews'
yeah.
fault takes, then I don't want you following me
Well,
in the first place. It's no sweat
it's
off
like
my
the same
back.
thing with the Andrew Tate thing. I used to support Andrew Tate not long ago actually. And I knew that he said something like a genocide, and I'm like, okay, he's Muslim and retarded. And people are like, people assume this is the problem with you guys, right? Like, and I mean this in a loving way for my followers, okay? Please do not assume that I am a consumer of other people's content. I'm a content creator, okay? And there's nothing wrong with being a consumer, right? But sometimes consumers they know a lot about other creators, and creators don't watch as much content as you do, right? So I didn't know about Andrew Tate's sex stuff with the fucking beating up women, even though I like quote supported him. I supported him because I liked some of his content about he has some bangers. He says some stuff that I go, "Oh yeah, I agree with that." But when it comes to what I recently saw, which is apparently all really old stuff, there's a video of him like beating a girl with a belt and she locks herself in a room. There's videos of him bragging about hitting women in the bedroom, and I believe him. All right, I really believe him. I have a good sense of when people are saying something for clout and when they
Right.
really mean it.
And they're speaking from experience,
And
right?
one of my big no-nos is men hitting women. It's just a
Yeah, it's a
no.
no. That's a no.
It's a I will rock your shit in public. I'll hit you in church if you touch a woman. I told you this story. I was at a wedding in fucking Cancun. I literally knocked out a groomsman because he hit his wife and I found out about it. So it's a big thing for me. And but then, right, my point is my followers are getting mad at me. They go, this was your red line, not all of the other stuff. And I'm like, whoa, whoa. I didn't see the stuff that you saw. All right? I do not watch every piece of Andrew Tate's content, and I don't go down rabbit holes that you people go down. So, yeah, now that no, and then people are like, "Now that you're awake, watch that." No, no, no. I don't need to. I don't need to watch your documentary on Andrew Tate now. I have already made my decision. All right? No more Andrew Tate. He's no longer he had redeemable qualities. Now he does not. So
Right.
don't get mad at me because I didn't see the thing that you saw.
Yeah, I don't see a lot. I mean,
I don't.
and I've had that comment before too. It's like, "Oh, how could you support blah blah blah?" Or "How come you didn't see this?" And I'm
Yeah.
like, "Because I didn't."
Yeah,
because that's why. Because
because I
I
have a
don't
job. I have a job.
I literally watch I watch reels like Instagram, like 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, whatever, and I listen to Bongino every day
Yeah,
and maybe Andrew Wilkow like on the radio,
I'm gonna tell you,
and that's it.
the person whose account I know the most about is mine.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah.
I
That's your thing though.
I
That's
am
your
in my
account.
I am in my own comment section all the time. I am in my own shit, making my own videos, doing my own research. I am not a person that follows other people. Like, and I like whatever's on the main page. My algorithm gives me a lot of redheaded libertarian, gives me a
Yeah.
lot of, and also you want to know also why I don't see a lot of people's stuff. I'm one of those sane people that mutes accounts I don't like. Right? Like I mute people when I don't like them, not if I disagree with them, if I don't like them.
Correct.
Right? Like
Yeah.
if I'm
I'm
like
same with that. Same.
oh, I don't need more of this. Like engagement farming, I mute them.
Oh, all day.
I
All day. Clickbait. A
yeah,
clickbait, what I'll do sometimes is I'll put them on like one of my lists that I'll interact with for a week just to call them out a few
mhm,
times, then
mhm.
I'll mute them and move
Yeah,
on.
I don't see
You know?
Candace Owens posts don't come up on my timeline. You know what comes up? Your reaction to Candace Owens posts.
Yeah.
That's how I see it. I don't see it through her. I don't follow her. I don't follow any of these people. So anyway, long story short, guys, stop taking it too seriously. We're not omnipotent. We don't know sometimes. If you don't like somebody and you think that I like somebody, if your visceral reaction to me is, I can't believe you like that person, maybe I don't. Right? Maybe I just like a couple of posts that they made.
Right.
Ian Miles Chong, right? Somebody was coming at me about that guy and they go, you follow him. I went and clicked on his page. I had him muted. Right? Like I had the
Right.
motherfucker
So
muted.
okay, so yeah, that's the other thing. It's like, oh, I follow Kamala Harris.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
don't like her,
Yeah,
but
exactly.
every time she posts something stupid, I want to be in the
Yeah.
replies. It's fun.
You know who I don't follow, but I haven't muted yet for the same reason? The Krasensteins, right? I don't follow either of them. I see them all the time, and I don't mute them because I like trolling them, right?
Yeah,
So,
me too.
but
Yeah.
I won't follow them. I mean, but either way, I think we've beaten this dead horse. Let's get back to the fucking news. Jimmy Carter died. Like that worked out really great.
Well, that
Uh
was certainly something that didn't surprise me,
yeah. I mean,
with all
bro,
due respect.
bro, I mean, are you of the same mind? This is, I guess you could call this a conspiracy theory. I think that motherfucker held on as long as he could. I think he wanted to make it to Trump's inauguration, but he just couldn't. He just couldn't hang
Yeah.
on. I think he wanted to make sure he wasn't going to go down in history as the worst president, and like, oh, fucking did it again. Um, Jimmy Carter was in hospice for over a year, right? I think that's what it is. That dude that dude wasn't here for, I would say, the last 11. Once you go into hospice, guys, it's game over. You're not really there anymore, right? Like I have to
Hmm.
deal with this with my mom potentially, right? Well, definitely, just I don't know when. Once they go hospice, it's like you don't have much longer before they're gone, right? They're alive, but they're gone. So Jimmy Carter literally just was on basically breathing tubes and fucking whatever for the past I would guess like 11 months. And then didn't Joe Biden skip his fucking funeral to give George Soros the Medal of Freedom?
I think so. I think Kamala went to the funeral, but
Yeah.
yeah, I don't think Biden went. Yeah.
Biden skipped Jimmy Carter's funeral to give George Soros the Presidential Medal of Freedom.
That's because he didn't want someone at Jimmy Carter's funeral to be like, "Thank you, Joe. You're the worst."
Bro, it's insane to me that he gave Soros. I mean, everyone's like, he gave Hillary Clinton the. What did she do? Right? Like, I mean, what like this whole administration on the way out the door, they're throwing a giant middle finger to everybody. They're just blatantly, brazenly rubbing it in your face
Yeah.
that they're corrupt and they're just they're elites. They're literally just rewarding all of their friends with all of this shit, pardoning Hunter Biden, possibly presumptively pardoning Liz Cheney and Adam
and
Schiff
and Fauci.
and Fauci. It's like, dude, and I don't know if he's gonna do that, but it won't shock me at all. I said this, I think it was this morning. I think it was this morning because one of the headlines you're gonna see come up is Joe Biden was sat down for a long interview about his legacy. Bro, your legacy is going to be the worst president in history. Period. And it's not like, I mean, in 20 years, people are when was Jimmy Carter 84 83 84 81 81 to
I
80?
think he was right. Wasn't he right before
Yeah,
Reagan?
so it would be, I think it would be
Yeah.
81 to 84. That is 30 years ago. Right? For the past 30 years, people have been talking about how awful Jimmy Carter was. Your time in about a week and a half, people are going to start talking about how you were the worst president in history, and it will not stop until somebody beats you. And I think he set the bar really fucking high. What did we have? We had 2 terrorist attacks under his watch. One of them with civilian casualties. We had the botched Afghanistan withdrawal. We had his him pardoning his son. We, like, Bill Clinton got a blowjob under a fucking desk, right? But pardoning your son for all the shit that was on that laptop, I mean, that's not going to stand the test of time, right? Like, the media can cover for him right now, but headlines in the future are going to look real bad for Joe Biden. The bribing Ukraine,
Ukraine.
bribing
Yeah,
Ukraine.
the
Yeah.
whole Burisma
Yeah, like,
situation.
there's so many things that Joe Biden is and if Donald Trump DOJ goes after Joe Biden the same way they went after Donald Trump, but this time for actual legitimate crimes, that's going to be even worse. So, yeah, dude, I don't care what your fucking media friends are telling you. Your legacy is worst president in history. It's like, what else could it be? What do they think it is? I didn't even read. I don't even remember what he thought it was in the article. But what would Joe Biden say his legacy was? Like, fucking, like, I mean, it would be a lie, but
He'll say the Inflation
oh
Reduction
yeah,
Act,
that's right.
Jack.
The Inflation Reduction Act. The Inflation Production Act. Inflation literally
Yes, that's exactly what it was. It was the Inflation Production.
inflation went from Donald Trump never ever getting it above 3 to Joe Biden getting it to fucking 9 and then bringing it down to mid 3 into the 3.5s. So, yeah, you actually produced inflation, dickhead. It's, if you had ended under Trump, you would have an argument, but you don't. All right, what's next? Chief Justice Roberts sounds alarm over potential defiance of court rulings. We'll skip that one. Who cares? Cold weather alerts. Trump lawyer asks AG. Oh yeah, this is a good one. It appears this is an older. This one's from I believe yesterday, but I think today we found out that they are going to release special counsel Jack Smith's report on Trump. Just more lawfare bullshit.
They're releasing it. I know Garland petitioned to have going to actually do it.
It looks like it. I don't
It says
think
Garland asked the 11th Circuit to toss the order blocking Jack Smith's the release.
yeah, so he wants the block
He wants
removed.
the block removed. Yeah.
Yeah, so they want to release it. This is exactly why Mershon is trying to convict Trump just before the election, because it's all for politics, where they can go, Donald Trump's a convicted felon and look at this report. But listen, Jack Smith was ruled an illegitimate prosecutor, so that report is illegitimate, right? Judge Cannon came out and said, you were illegally appointed. So anything that's in that report
was he illegally obtained
illegally
or illegally produced?
Yeah, so you can it's just like the Matt Gaetz thing. They wanted to release the Matt Gaetz report. Never before on a member of Congress that is no longer sitting in Congress has an ethics report been released, and it's only been released like 5 times for a sitting member of Congress. They didn't release they didn't release the ethics report for Eric Swalwell when he banged a Chinese spy. But they
Fang.
Yeah.
I call her Chinese takeout, by the way.
It's fucking so it's really just it's fucking corruption, man. It's like it's propaganda. They just want they need something. And again, just like with Jack Smith, Trump really does need. I know, and we've talked about this so many times. I hate to sound repetitive. Trump needs to go after these people. It's a necessity. It's really at this point he has to, because if he doesn't, then it's incentive to do it again,
Right.
right?
Well, yeah, it's my dog pooping on the rug
Yeah,
analogy.
yeah. You're
If you
letting
don't tell the dog it's not okay to poop on the rug, he's going to think in the future that it's okay to poop on the
no.
rug.
You got to rub his nose in it at this point. Like it's like
And then it's like, if you give him treats for pooping on the rug, he's going to do it a lot because he's getting rewarded for pooping on the rug.
exactly. So at this point, it's not revenge or retribution, it's prevention. Like you
It's
have to,
discipline,
no, you have to do this. You have to,
consequences.
there has to be somebody that goes to jail, or else in 4 years, they're going to try to steal the next election and they're going to do it all over again. Whoever the next guy is, we have allowed the I don't know if corruption's the right word, but it fits. But we've allowed whatever they're doing, the deep state. We've allowed the deep state to become so bolden and so emboldened and brazen, where they don't
Yes.
care what it looks like anymore. There used to be this like shadow government in the shadows. Now they're just poking their head
They're
out.
just out.
They just poke their
Yeah.
head out all the time, and they're like, "We're doing it." Fucking, what are you gonna do about it? We own the media. We own everybody. All right. Next up, oh, Trudeau.
Ah,
Trudeau.
and we call him Queen Justine, right? That's what we call him.
Dude, what? Oh my God, what did I say?
That's what we call her.
Um,
Queen Justine, we call her.
Oh no, I did. It wasn't for Trudeau. Earlier today, I did bye bye Biden. It just rolled off the tongue. I've never done it before, but I was in the middle of something and I go bye bye Biden. And somebody in the comment was like, "Did you just pull out in sync?" And I think I did. No, but Trudeau.
Mm-hmm.
So Pierre Poilievre,
Polar bear.
Polar Bear. Uh,
I call him Polar Bear
yeah, Polar Bear. I've
because he's in
yeah,
Canada.
I've liked him ever since I first saw him, I don't know, a year ago, whatever. I'm like, damn, this guy's got it. But I still to this day have absolutely no idea how Canada's system works, and I don't care.
I actually read about it. It's interesting. So it's kind of like Europe.
I know it's
Um,
parliamentarian.
so so yeah, it's like a parliament. So basically, the the party who wins the most seats in parliament, that party leader becomes the prime minister.
Okay.
And their elections are not always on the same day. It was either going to be October 25th, but now because he's resigning, if there's a no confidence vote, they could do a snap election and have one
Yeah.
sooner. But that's the way it works. So like if so like in theory, and this has happened before. So if the conservative in Canada gets more votes than the liberal for prime minister, but
Mm-hmm.
the Liberals
But the Liberal
Party
Party,
wins more
yeah.
seats in Parliament than the Conservative Party, the Liberal candidate becomes the Prime Minister.
That would be fucking ridiculous. And that's probably what they're trying to do. Because Poilievre, whatever his name is, he dropped a video right after Justin Trudeau resigned, and what he was describing was exactly what we did here, what the Democrats did here. Right? He goes, the Trudeau is losing popularity, and what the Liberal Party is doing is they're pushing him out so they can install a new candidate 3 months before an election. And I'm like, well, that sounds fucking
That
familiar.
sounds familiar.
That
Yeah.
sounds like we just did that.
Canada does that with what we do a lot. They crack down on the truckers almost the exact same way we crack down on the
Yeah.
J6ers. Freezing bank accounts, terrorists, emergency orders,
We should just
etc.
annex it. I mean, we should like, it started off as
Territory
it started
status.
off as a joke, all right? And it started off with me kind of going like, that's silly. And then the more I've looked at it and the more I've thought about it, the more I'm like, wait a minute. That would actually be really good. Right? To somehow, and we're not doing it. I don't think we're going to be doing it in the next 4 years. But it's a really good conversation that Trump has started, because think about it, right? The if you had the if you had the resources of Canada, right? The resources of Greenland, and let's say you even took Mexico, and then you had the manufacturing of Mexico, and we had the whole continent with water on all sides of us except for a 541-mile southern border wall at Mexico's southern border, right? We'd be the most protected country in the world. We'd be the largest country in the world. We'd beat Russia. We would have
Russia, Russia,
we
Russia.
would have our GDP would be higher. We would have but here's the thing, we're not even adding a shitload of people, by the way, right? Like Greenland has like 50,000 people on it.
50,000, yeah.
Yeah, so we're not worried about Greenland. Anyone that's like Greenland votes Democratic, there's 50,000 people. I don't care. Also, the argument of if we take Canada, Mexico, and
I don't
Greenland,
think Greenland votes.
I don't. Well, if they become the
Oh, okay.
U.S., then they would. But it's going to be a territory. They're not going to vote no matter what.
Right.
It's not going to become a state. But hypothetically, let's say it even was a state. Their delegates would be like one. They would be 1 point on the electoral college.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you know what else? Canada. Let's say we actually did annex Canada and brought it in as part of the United States. Everybody's worried that, oh, Democrats would win all the elections. Well, not if we fix our elections. What
That's true.
people aren't remembering is the number one priority from Trump. I hope he knows this. He probably does. Is fixing the elections before the next election, right? Because if you were to get rid of fraud, then I don't give a shit how many fucking liberals are in Canada. We're winning, right? I've talked about this so many times. If there was no election fraud, we would have smoked everyone in the past 10 elections. Like the Democrats only have wins because of all of the fraud. Like, so I think that would be a way to even it out. And like I said, it's not happening in 4 years either way. It's a good conversation to get started. And when you look at those maps, when you look at like the Greater American Empire map and you see it like highlighted in red, I looked at that and I went, "Oh shit, that actually would be a good idea." Because look at Russia, look at China, right? Those are big fucking countries, right?
China.
We're the leader of the free fucking world and we're not the biggest country. We should be the biggest country. And
Yeah.
as far as multiculturalism, you don't have to worry about that because Canada is is um what is it called? They're culturally cohesive to us, right? Their
It's very
cultures
similar.
their
Yeah.
culture is very similar. With Mexico, and Trump's not even talking about Mexico because I don't think he has any intention of getting involved in Mexico. But hypothetically, if we wanted Mexico, the way you would get Mexico is you would go to war with Mexico and win, right? Because the cartels are the de facto government. The cartels are a terrorist organization. You label them a terrorist organization. You go in there, you fuck them all up, and go, hey, by the way, now I got your country. Got your country. You know,
Got your nose.
got your country. Fucking Claudia Scheinbaum or fucking. You know what's funny is that this Claudia Scheinbaum, fucking the president, she's trying to come out and any time anyone tries to counter troll Trump, they just look cringe. And she comes out and she goes, "We should call it Great Mexican America, and we should take Mexico back." Bitch, you are installed by the 30 of your fucking political opponents were murdered and you weren't. Shut up. Like
Right.
you are
Right.
clearly a fucking corrupt piece of shit. And if you even fucking tried it, we would have that over in a weekend. Um,
Yeah, it wouldn't even it wouldn't it, yeah, no.
yeah,
It would be
imagine if Mexico is like, well, we're gonna go to war with you guys. We would as bad as our military has gotten, we're
Oh, it wouldn't be
as
close.
bad as our
It wouldn't.
military has gotten, we still
Yeah.
have crayon eating motherfuckers that are gonna be fucking giddy to go to
Yeah.
Mexico and fuck you up. It's not even gonna be close. Right? Like the cartels may have a lot of money and they may have a lot of guns, but they don't have bad motherfuckers that are trained to fucking snipe you without you knowing. All right, they'll cut your legs off while you're still alive, but they don't know how to fucking hit you at fucking 1,000 yards out. So that would be over. So I digress, but yeah. Um, Trump loses the bid to. Oh, we just talked about that. All right, and then the stories from today are the wildfires, obviously. how the fuck?
yeah,
How the fuck?
yeah, yeah. This California thing blows my mind. First of all, the LGBTQ plus fire chief saying,
Yep.
oh, my vision is
Yep.
diversity. Great. If I was the fire chief, my vision would be putting out
Yeah.
fires. But that's just me. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I mean that
DEI strikes
well,
again.
there's that. There's a video of Trump on Joe Rogan talking about how
Yes, about
Newsom
the
yeah.
fish. They want to save the one fish
No, but
because of the
also
water.
how yeah, they Newsom had an opportunity to store all this water for these events and didn't. And guess what? He just ran out of water during the biggest wildfire in modern history.
I don't know how you run out of water when you live next to the
Yeah, no
Pacific
shit.
Ocean,
I
but
said that. You know what I said? I said that on fucking on X today, and somebody was like, "Yeah, well, if you run the salt water through the pumps, then they'll get ruined." And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm pretty sure the people whose families are trapped in their homes won't care. I don't think.
the problem with that is if you destroy your equipment and then you have another
Yeah,
fire and you don't have any equipment, you have a
yeah,
problem. The long-term solution is take
yeah.
seawater, desalinate the seawater, store it in a
Well,
tank, and when you have a fire, use
well,
the water. You're next to
why
the
not just
ocean.
get a fucking helicopter to drop a fucking to like get like the cables?
Well, these fires aren't near the water.
Yeah,
So you would have to take that helicopter. That would have to go a long way
I don't
without an
know.
incident. Maybe they'll get some of those
I'm
drones from New
figure
Jersey. I don't know.
I'm still thinking they could have figured this out. And you know what else? Here's the deal. Dickhead fucking Bernie Sanders is like, this is climate
Oh,
change. Climate
$15 an
change.
hour.
This is climate change. All right.
Yeah,
Hey,
sure it
bitch,
is.
it's fucking 70 degrees out. All right. Fires don't start when it's 60. Hold on, let me pull up the screenshot. I screenshotted this, right? This is the California weather for today. LA weather for today, right? A low of 53, a high of 71, right? So I'm pretty sure that that range isn't going to be sparking any fires. So
No.
the climate did not start the fire, but then they obviously have to move the goalposts and they go, well, it's actually the wind, right? It's the wind. That's like there's
Uh-huh.
so it's because of
Right.
the
Of
wind.
course. Of
Oh,
course
it's
it's
wind.
the wind.
Oh, why the fuck isn't Chicago on fire all the time? Why isn't Chicago on
right.
fire 24/7? It's the windy city, right? There's no fires in Chicago. Where all these windmill where you guys keep on sticking wind farms because there's wind, no wildfire. It's just California. Climate only hits California. Climate change only hits California. No, you got
I
no.
guess.
Rake your fucking forests. Stop fucking putting power lines through your fucking trees, and figure it the fuck out, dude.
How about this? How about the fact that it's always states like California, blue states, climate change like subscribers, right?
Yeah.
They are like there is climate change and it will cause more extreme natural disasters. It's always those states that say those types of things that are never prepared for natural
Well,
disasters.
you know what the
So you're telling me
yeah
that because thousands of cows farted today
yeah.
that there's going to be a wildfire in California, and now there's a wildfire in California, and you were the one telling me that because cows farted you expected it, and so now here it is and you're
Well,
not
look
ready
at
for it,
Florida. Florida knows they're going to get hurricanes, so
and they're
they made their whole
prepared.
state prepared for hurricanes. Massachusetts, right? Massachusetts knows every year there's going to be a snowstorm. You know what we have? We had these fucking trucks filled with salt all year round sitting in a fucking garage. And then when it snows, those trucks start driving down the road and they shoot salt everywhere. It's fucking preparedness.
What a novel
Yeah.
concept.
But also, right? It's like, you got the conspiracy theorists out there. You know how I feel about them.
Yeah.
They have a solid point on this one that they're starting the fires. The government is starting the fires on purpose, right? Because what happens when there's a natural disaster? The insurance companies bank a fuckload of money, and the government comes in and tries to buy up a bunch of land, right? It's like it fucks over the regular everyday person, but governments love natural disasters. They love them, right? So I mean, this could be one final way to pocket a bunch of money in a big scheme before they lose power. I'm not saying that's what happened, but And I saw the video. I saw a video of a fucking power line yesterday, live on TV, that was running through a fucking tree and just sparking like crazy during the fire. Right? So it's like the fire's
Yeah,
going
that's,
on, and
that's a problem.
they're like, "Oh, look at the power lines going off, creating more fires." And I'm like, "Hey, why the fuck do you have power lines running through trees?"
Why are they on? If there's, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, I don't know. It's ridiculous. Yeah, you should not. Well, that's part of the problem. You're supposed to either trim back those trees or reposition those lines so that
Uh-huh.
that doesn't happen.
You're not supposed to have power lines touching trees because I don't know
No.
if you guys know this, trees are grounded. It's
Yeah.
literally touching the ground. So when the connection happens from the tree to the electrical, so you know why birds don't get shocked when they sit on power lines? Because they're not grounded. This is how electricity works, folks. All right. This is how lightning works too, by the way. Cloud, ground. The lightning actually comes up from the ground.
Yes, it
It
does.
doesn't come from the cloud to the ground. It comes from the ground
Right.
to the cloud.
That's
Right?
right.
So grounded means like if something is pre-grounded, then you can touch it. And if something is ungrounded, you can touch the live. But if you touch the ground and the live, then you get shocked. So a tree is grounded, its roots are in the ground. When it touches an electrical wire, it immediately sends a fucking electrical current from the earth to the wire. It's like a fucking giant wire coming out of the ground. So yeah, no, you can't have trees touching electrical wires. That's common sense. Like every lineman knows that. There are companies that run up and down the highway and they trim branches that get too big, and they do it every few months, and we pay them a lot of money. A job of a lineman is sometimes to just run up and down with a chainsaw. But you literally got places in LA where there are fucking lines running right through trees. So explain that. So yeah, no, climate change though. It was climate change.
It's always climate change. It has to be. It's always the, there's got to be a hoax that they can push, a money grab, a narrative that they can run with, because without that, what can
Yeah,
they do? Nothing.
exactly.
They're not preparing. They're not doing their
Yeah.
job, so they have to propagandize and try and exploit. Never let a crisis go to
No
waste.
fire.
It's cliche, but it's their
Yeah,
mo.
somebody in the chat. No fire insurance in a lot of counties, and that's on purpose because they're fucking screwing people.
And what
What's this
happened
thing
is
about
these
State
insurance
Farm? Yeah, what
companies.
happened with State Farm? Rob Schneider.
Well, they dropped a bunch of residents a couple of weeks ago because they knew that California was out of water, that they couldn't fight the fire. So the insurance
Oh,
company, in my eyes, rightly goes, "This is way too much of a
yeah.
risk." And if everybody, and they dropped them. I mean, I don't agree with it.
Oh,
It's sick. It's
it's
gross.
gross.
They could definitely do it,
Yeah,
but and
legally
we can
they
have
can
the
do it.
insurance.
Morally, they shouldn't have.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. And financially, they probably could have
Yeah.
done it. These companies have money, but they deemed these residents too high risk, and deemed the government too ill prepared to be able to mitigate the risk. So they're basically saying, no, we can't insure you, but it's not your fault or our fault. It's, your
It's
government's
so
fault.
fucked up. Yeah.
It
Well,
is. At the end of the day, it's really messed
I mean,
up.
I'm really trying to figure out, right? Let's go fucking full screen again. I'm trying to figure out how I've been trying to figure this out for like 10 years. How Democrats don't see it. How they don't see what we see. Where it's like, yo, your cities are not great. Like you like how much cognitive dissonance do you need, right? When you see a woman being set on fucking fire in a subway while simultaneously your leaders are saying crime is down, and you can't reconcile that. You can't think that one of those things isn't true. And obviously
Right.
with your own eyeballs you saw the woman on fire. So I mean, common sense would
Yes.
tell you that Kathy Hochul's lying. Like it's like, hey,
Well, did you hear the CEO of New York's Metropolitan Transportation Authority, the MTA? He said that the because of the high-profile attacks on the subway
yeah.
recently, it's getting in people's heads, and it makes the system feel less
Oh,
safe.
so it's just
They're
in your
dealing
head.
at a, they're it's in your head. They're dealing with a 25-year
Yeah.
high in murders on the
Yeah.
subway. Just so we know. So the data is also in
So
our
yeah,
head, I
that's
guess.
what they do. I'm telling you, that's cognitive dissonance, right? Where it's like,
Oh,
oh, they're only covering the high profile ones, so everybody thinks crime is up. Hey, you know there are subways in other places, right? There are subways in fucking Seattle and all these other places. Why is it that in New York only that is happening regularly? It's like it's not in your head. Stop letting them gaslight you. It's because crime is up. But I'm saying these like the left, you got the fucking people like Brian Krasenstein. I really think that he believes what he's saying most of the time. Right? When he comes out and he's like, you got all these guys are pushing all the he thinks we're pushing the propaganda. He's like, you guys
right.
are pushing all this propaganda. My my leaders told me, the people that I believe told me that you're wrong. There's so much empirical evidence showing that you're right, but they told me you're wrong and they gave me a statistic that they fabricated, so that's what the truth is. And it's like, and that's why the left is losing their mind about how they're about to lose fact checkers, right? You're about to lose bias fact checkers that use shady fucking statistics to manipulate you and move to a community note system. A community note system is it's not perfect. We've learned that from
No.
X, right? It's not perfect, but it takes a collective of regular everyday people, and
And from across different
from
viewpoints, right? You can't just
yep,
get, thousands of right-wing
correct.
accounts to vote yes and post the note the way X right now, and it still could be abused. We
Yeah,
know
it's
that,
gotten it
but
wrong before. It
and there will never be perfect. It's, by the way, it's never
it's
going to
never
be
going to be perfect.
perfect. It's run by human
Yes, it's going to be
beings.
fallible.
We're
Yep.
imperfect. Yeah.
However, it's better. The community note system I've seen on X, I don't think there should be any, by the way. I don't think there should be fact checker or community notes. But if you're gonna have something, community notes is better. Um,
It's closer to
it's yeah,
perfect than
it's
fact and than
yes,
PolitiFact.
exactly.
you
But I'm
know?
telling you, they are losing their mind because they are about to lose complete control of the narrative online, and they know it. They know what they've been doing is wrong. They know what they've been doing is lying, and you got people like Joy Reid who come out and they go, oh, well, we're going to get rid of fact checkers. Well, why were the fact checkers fact checking? Doesn't that mean that those people were lying? No, that's the point, you retard. Mark Zuckerberg literally came out and said, we've been getting shit wrong, you idiot. Our fact checkers are biased. Our fact checkers are all liberals. So we're going to go to a community note system, and the people are going to be able to say that's not true, or that is true, or here's more context. I like it. I still don't fucking trust them, but I like it. All right, next up.
Yeah, I don't trust them.
Trump vows to name the Gulf of America and
I love it.
and threatens all hell over Israeli hostages. All right, let's start off with the Gulf of America. Do you think that this is Trump? This is misdirection, because I think that it might be. Trump, the art of the deal, right? Maybe it's one of those business tactics where it's like you throw something in that sounds ridiculous so they counter with the thing that you wanted, right? Like he wants Greenland, right? He wants Greenland.
Right, right. He wants
So then
Greenland.
he goes, and I'm going to name the Gulf of America, right? So it's like the Gulf of
Well, I'm not so sure one has anything to do with
it
the
might
other,
it
and
might
I do
not. It
think
might not. But I'm saying
I do think here's the thing about this Gulf of America thing, right? Um, at the end of the day, we may pass a resolution. Marjorie Taylor Greene is apparently getting ready to introduce the bill. Um, we could refer to it however we want. I can call it the Gulf of your
yeah,
asshole. It doesn't matter.
exactly.
At the end of the day, this Gulf of America thing is a total troll
That's
job
what
by
I'm
Donald Trump,
saying.
hands
Yeah.
down. He's doing it just to
Yeah.
swing his you know what around and say,
Yeah.
look what I can make my House
Yeah.
of Representatives do. And now it's the Gulf of America.
Yeah.
The Greenland thing, he has always wanted Greenland.
No, I think that's great. Look, here's the deal. I think that he really, and I mean really, wants to annex Canada, right? And I really believe he wants to. But I think that he's probably smart enough to know it might not happen. Greenland, I think he's like, I'm going to do it. It's going to happen. I don't give a fuck how it happens. And same with the Panama Canal. with Panama and Greenland, those things are fucking happening. All right, you can take it to the bank. He's not gonna let up on it, right? But
Yeah.
but again, there's this tactic that they do in negotiations in business, right? So it's like, let's say I just saw a video of somebody talking about this. Said I was gonna get hired for a new position. It was Tony Robbins, actually, I think it was. Tony Robbins was like, you're gonna go get hired at a new company. So you tell them, okay, you tell them something absolutely, you tell them something that you want, and then you tell them something absolutely ridiculous. So they give you the thing that you want. So you say, well, I want $10,000 a year more than you offered me, and I want like 4 weeks paid vacation and something something something. And then they come back and they go, well, we can't give you the vacation stuff, but we can do the 10,000. And you go, okay. And the whole time he only wanted the 10,000. So it's
Right.
like this could be something like that on a larger scale that Trump's doing, where he's going, and Canada, right? He's going like I want Greenland, Panama, and Canada, and they go, all right, we can't do Canada, but you can have fucking Greenland.
You can
All
have
right, you can
Greenland.
have
Yeah.
Greenland, and then Trump's
Right,
gonna be
right,
like,
right,
okay,
right.
fine, I guess I'll take Greenland, and then wink, wink. Like, that could be what he's doing, and I like it.
Yeah.
On my show earlier today, I should have thrown these screenshots in for the night show because they were on my desktop anyway. But let me pull them up here. You know what? I don't understand. There's this push from the right. Actually, it's the people on the right who are like they think we can't walk and chew gum at the same time. It's like we got to close the border. We got to worry about the elections. We can't be buying Greenland. It's like we can do both. But
What does buying Greenland have to do with mass
oh
deportations,
my
by the
god,
way? You know?
exactly.
It's
They
like
think the
I can
entire
go out and mow the
Trump is gonna
lawn,
have
and I can also I can go out and mow the lawn, but I could also buy something on Amazon while I'm mowing the
exactly,
lawn.
right? It's
It's
like Trump is going to have the full weight of the federal government behind him. You think that he can only do one thing? Okay. But anyway, what the right has been doing is they're like now they're trying to call Trump a globalist for trying to expand the United States.
oh, I did
Okay.
see this. See this.
So, it's obvious, right, that the United States started as 13 original colonies and then turned into 50 states. All right. Um, the Louisiana Purchase, I don't know if you can see this, right?
I
But
did very well with that, by the way.
do you
I
see?
got along very well with Thomas Jefferson. We
All right,
did very
there we
well
go.
with him.
There we go. You see the white? You see,
Yes.
that used to be France. Like
Yep.
the French owned like that much of America, and in one shot we bought
$20 million, I think it was.
yeah, it was something ridiculous. Also, in 1819, we bought Florida from Spain. 1854, the Gadsden Purchase, which is basically New Mexico and Arizona. 1867, the Alaska Purchase. 1917.
Seward's Folly.
Yep, Seward's Folly. No, that was Alaska. Yeah, that was Alaska. That's what I just said.
Alaska.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the Virgin Islands was 1917. We haven't expanded since 1917. It's been 108 years since we expanded, right? And when we did expand over the course of 98 years, we went from that much to what we are now. What was it, globalism back then? I don't think it was. I think it was expansionism. Expanding is good because a globalism is is one world government, right? Expansionism is a stronger American government, right? I don't want a bigger American government. I want a stronger American government. In fact, I think we should keep the government the exact same size and just buy all that shit, right? Like fucking, and then we would have smaller government in relation. But I played this video earlier today. Did you see the video where they call it "come"? You know what? I'm gonna hold on. I'm gonna play the audio through my mic. It's fucking hilarious. Get ready to laugh. Hold on.
The United States, Mexico, and Canada became one country. If all three nations joined together to form a single country, they could call it COM, or the United Nations of COM, and it would instantly become the most powerful country in the world. Economically, this union would dominate with a GDP of over $28 trillion,
28 trillion.
the richest country on earth. The U.S.'s $25 trillion economy would lead, boosted by Canada's energy resources and Mexico's manufacturing strength.
That's good.
Geographically, this supernation would span 21.66 million square kilometers, overtaking Russia as the largest country and nearly doubling Europe's size. From Canada's icy Arctic to Mexico's sunny beaches, it would feature unmatched diversity. The population would soar to nearly 500 million, ranking as the third most populous country behind only India and China. And with a defense budget of over
China.
900 billion and 1.7 million active troops, it would command the world's most advanced and powerful military. So, would you want the U.S. to form CUM?
Okay, so we would.
Why do they keep calling it that?
Okay, cum is Canada, C, United States,
US.
U, and Mexico, M. Cum. So, it-
But I can't take that. I can't. All the numbers make sense. I just can't take it
I know.
seriously.
I said that is a master viral video because you start off the video with something like that, and then you throw a bunch of actual facts in. It's like
Yeah, and then you end it with
you
nonsense. With the silly
you
word.
subliminally educated people with a viral video. But look, think about now the joking aside, think about what he just said, right? We would have the world's biggest GDP, the world's biggest population, right behind India. We would have the world's largest military, and we would have the resources from Canada and the manufacturing from Mexico. So on its face, right? Like, and I get it. It's like you can't. I'm not talking about an as is, buy it tomorrow and figure it out type of thing. But if you were able to pull that off in a progressive way, like in a way where you could figure out a way to do it, there's nothing globalism about that. That is going to turn us into the number one superpower, and it's going to make sure that we are surrounded by water, and all we have is a 541 mile border at the bottom of the fucking continent, right in between North America and South America. Come on, dude. Like, that would be fucking.
I mean, it positions us really well on the on the globe,
Yeah.
right? On the world stage,
Well, I mean,
geographically.
look, this is what it would look like. It would look
Yeah.
like this. This is what we
Yep.
would look like. We would be the entire North American continent.
Green
Yeah,
cum.
green cum. And well, if you added Greenland, it would be cum G or G cum.
Cum G. Or you
Or
can just do CUGM and just say the G is silent,
Yeah.
Cum G.
Cum G.
I'm
yeah.
3 years old.
I like this. I like this one too. This one is great because it says the Greater American Empire, Greenland Proctorate, Trump Tower is like pointed right at Greenland, the northern colonies and the United States, and then Mexico is called South Texas.
I had a Greenland naming contest not too long ago on X, and there were some good ones.
Speaking of, I just pulled this up. It's called Huge Land.
Yeah, Huge Land. I saw Mara Igloo recently. Donnieville, East Alaska.
Somebody who was in my chat, they were like, when I saw, I don't know if I was talking to you. I think I was talking to you. They were like, when you said you should rename Iceland Greenland and Greenland Iceland because Greenland's icy and Iceland's green.
Yes. Well, Brennan thinks that Donald Trump should name Greenland just McDonald's. It should just be the island of McDonald's.
That's fucking
because
great.
it would be named after him because his name is Donald, and it's also so I made like a meme. I haven't put it up yet, but it's the island of Greenland with a huge McDonald's sign that you could see from outer space. It's so perfect. It would be so perfect.
McDonald Trump.
Yeah, the island of the big beautiful island of McDonald's.
You know, it's funny because when Trump posted this, right? When you look at it, just no Mexico, with just Canada and the United States, right? That looks like a fucking badass country. Like
it does.
Like I just like the look of it. I'm like, you know what? You know why? Here's why. I
commented under that picture and I said, what about Greenland?
Hold on, but hold on. I was just about to say I figured out why I like it, right? Because I'm super OCD. Okay, What do you notice happens when you do this? It connects Alaska to America, and Alaska is America, right?
Right.
And it also it's the full continent minus Mexico, obviously, right? So I'm like, I think that's why I like it, because it's literally just like, oh, they just made us. It's a circle. It's a circle.
It's a circle.
It's a circle. This is you have a square. It's not a square. This is a circle. Okay. Last up before we get out of here, we alluded to this earlier. Biden sat down and reveals his biggest regret and the compliment Trump gave him. I don't remember what part of the article that was. I only do the headlines on the weekly breakdown. If you want to watch the full show on that, it's from earlier today. And make sure you hit the like button. Keep on forgetting to tell people that. Biden's biggest regret. I mean, I'm sure he didn't say it, but Afghanistan would be a good one. That would probably be a good one
Yeah.
if you're being intellectually honest in that interview. Yeah,
Are you saying his biggest regret of his
yeah.
presidency?
Here, let me see it.
I think dropping out of the race is probably his biggest
I
regret.
think that's what he said it was, actually. Oh, you know what? I think that is what he said it was.
Is it? Wow, that's bad. That means I'm thinking like Joe Biden.
Hold
That's
on.
not
All right.
good.
So there's the fire. Let me see if I can pull it up. It would be maybe this one. Oh, it can't be opened because it's in the trash. Well, I'm not even going to bother. I think that's what he said his biggest regret was. I really do. I think he said, I could have stayed in the race and beat Donald Trump. No, you fucking couldn't have. Like, you literally couldn't have. Like, all the polls were saying that Joe Biden was going to lose worse than Kamala Harris, and she lost bad, dude. She lost pretty fucking bad.
Yeah, she did lose pretty bad.
And yeah, he took a dig at Trump, and he's talking about what Trump was saying. About he said that when I see Donald Trump saying that the terrorist attack in New Orleans was because of illegal immigration, I just think of how irresponsible that is. Trump was going off of a Fox News report. You fucking idiot. Like, that's the thing. Like, Fox News fucked up. Fox News originally reported that the truck that the New Orleans terrorists used
Came from
came from
Mexico.
Mexico, and
Right.
apparently it didn't. But Trump saw that. He made a tweet, and then everyone pounced on Trump like he wrote the news, like he didn't. But even still, right? This is my argument, and this might sound like a stretch, but it still is. Even though these were two Americans, right? Two American veterans. It's still about the border, by the way. All right, because you don't radicalize an American, right? And have him as a potential sleeper cell, right, for the New Orleans guy, not the Vegas.
The Vegas guy. Yeah, the New Orleans guy. Yeah.
The guy was radicalized by ISIS, took a trip to Egypt, okay, and then was part of a mosque here. The mosque here in Houston sent out an email saying to all of its mosque goers, I don't know what they call themselves. They're not parishioners, it's not a parish, but whatever a mosque person is, they said don't talk. They said don't talk to the police, right? It's like, do you really think that guy didn't have some friends down here that fucking came across the southern border? Probably,
And you want to hear something even crazier than that? You know who the mosque is referring people to speak to? It's an organization called CAIR.
Yeah, there was two
CAIR.
Mm-hmm.
The Center for American or the Council Center, whatever one, for American Islamic Relations. Do you want to know who who CAIR, what CAIR is? CAIR is responsible for in the Biden administration. You want to take one guess? Handling anti-Semitism.
Of course.
Isn't that interesting? So they have a group that is adjacent to radical Islamic terror, that has been a bundler. People who involved with that organization have been bundlers for people like Rashida Tlaib, is now is in charge of tackling anti-Semitism in America when the people that you're tasking with hate Jews. I mean,
it's so wild, man.
It is just unbelievable.
So we talked about this. We were texting back and forth earlier today about this, right? I have a theory, and it's about like something happened after October 7th that feels very manufactured. All right, like the Candace, and I'm not saying that this is true. I'm not
I'm gonna add to your theory
But
when you're done because I have a supplemental theory which I think you might go, oh wow,
yeah,
wait, maybe
but my
in
theory
line with
is
that.
that there is some type of organization, like some type of Soros type of organization, right?
An
An
NGO.
NGO that is funding these influencers on the right. And this isn't, I'm not the only one. This has already been brought up by other people. But here's the deal. If you look closely, there's a group, a clique that I've been going after, right? Candace Owens, Nick Fuentes, Jake Shields, Myron Gaines, fucking that whole clique of people, the people that put Christ is King in their fucking in their posts, and then say the Jews are responsible for 9/11, shit like that. They, besides Nick Fuentes, they weren't talking about this before October 7th,
Right.
right? They all of the sudden, right, changed and tailored all of their content on the turn of a hat to this the Jews, like Jew fucking shit. And what we, a lot of us have dismissed it as well, they're falling for propaganda or they're jumping into a clique or whatever. But what if there's an organization, and we know these organizations exist, they've reached out to me, people have asked me to tailor my content to certain things. I'm sure that Shawn has had the same type of people reach out, where
Yep.
people come up and they go, would you talk about this subject? And I tell them to fuck off. I'm like, no. um but if you got deep enough pockets and October 7th happens, and as part of October 7th, you need to run a propaganda machine. The Muslims have this thing, not Muslims, Islamists have this thing called taqiyya, right? Taqiyya is the practice of trying to mislead the public as to Islam's true intentions. And they usually do that in Western nations, right? They don't do it in fucking, uh, like, they don't do it in their own back in Iraq because everybody already knows. But it's basically essentially a propaganda style way of controlling the narrative when Muslims do something really bad. And what does that remind you of? October 7th. October 7th, the terrorists raped and murdered 1,200 people, and somehow, within a week and a half, became the victims. That's
Yep.
taqiyya, right? So if they're using, if, by the way, this, I don't like, if I ever do a conspiracy theory, I like to stress that this is just a theory. If they did get their hooks in Candace Owens, they would have paid her quite a lot of money, because she basically gave up her position with TPUSA and the Daily Wire, and she's still going full steam ahead. So that's my theory, and you can add to that.
Well, I was thinking, what a lot of these NGOs do, specifically ones that are, left wing adjacent, and the anti-Semitism is very prevalent on the left, and Rashida Tlaib, right? But
Yeah.
they always accuse others of what they're doing.
Oh yeah.
So these people and their followers are always accusing people like you, people like me, of being paid
Yeah, we're all being paid
to
by the
post.
projection.
Thank you.
Projection.
So is that what's going on? Because
Oh
I
yeah.
wouldn't be shocked at that. Hey, if someone pushes back on you, accuse them of being a grifter,
Uh-huh.
blah blah blah. I mean, because every one of them does it. They
It's all
all do it, and they use the same words.
uh-huh.
You're in Israel, you're
How
this,
much
you're that, and
how
I'm like,
how
it's the
many
same freaking
shekels
word.
how many shekels did you get for this post, right? That's what they
Right,
say.
all that,
So
and like
no
you
no
said,
no.
aside from Fuentes, and I'm not defending him, but he's the only one who's been doing it for a while.
He's hated Jews forever. Yeah, no, it's
Yeah.
like, yeah, no, and that's what I'm saying. Like Fuentes maybe has been getting paid to influence the right for a very long time, and he was doing it pre-October 7th, or he could genuinely just hate Jews. Um, Either way, it doesn't matter. But I'm saying there has been a very noticeable shift on we call them the far right or the woke right, but it really is a small group of people, and you got to wonder why they're saying what they're saying, because I don't think anybody really hates Jews that much, right? Like it doesn't make sense. All right? Like it really doesn't. Like I get why people hate Islam, because 9/11, right? The Jews did not do 9/11, okay? They didn't. Like
No.
it's just not even fucking remotely true. And they'll go down this whole the road of like, oh well, the CIA and Mossad created ISIS to combat other militants, and that's true. But once they did it, ISIS morphed into three different factions of either the terrorists want to be terrorists, so they're still terrorists. Does that make sense? So it's like
Right. It does.
you
Yep.
can't create something out of nothing. They didn't create, they just encouraged people who already chant death to America to go kill Americans. Or to go kill other people that chant death to America. So it's basically it's a ruse. It's like not even half truths, partial truths, or a little bit of truth wrapped up in a lot of lies. They talk about the USS Liberty, which has been debunked. It was a spy operation. Everybody made some mistakes, and it's just. But I'm saying I don't get why people would hate Israel or the Jews so much this quick. It gives me BLM 2020 vibes, right? Like, have you noticed that BLM riots are there's no more BLM riots? The protests that happened after that that black guy got beat up by the cops in New York last month. The protest was like 20 people, right?
Yeah. It's
It's
gone.
gone.
It's all free
Okay,
Palestine now.
no, but even the Free Palestine's gone too, right? And we know,
Well, no, there were hundreds of people that were marching after the New Orleans. The hundreds, not the thousands and
yeah,
the
it was
big, but there were a lot of
yeah,
the
but they're not
pro
taking over.
free blah
But
blah
they're not
blah.
taking over college campuses, and yes,
Not anymore.
yeah.
No, not
So that's
anymore.
what I'm saying. What you can take from that is they're funded and organized, and if it's organic, it's smaller. If it's organic, it's way smaller than it was when it wasn't organic. And I did a report on this a while back where I found out that the same people that were at the Daniel Penny trial with their yellow signs and the black border, and if you look really closely and you zoom in, it'll show you the organization under the BLM signs. They were literally yellow signs with a black border and the NGO. You go to that NGO, and then a year or 2 or 3 years later, you get the Free Palestine. Free Palestine has yellow signs, black border, and a different NGO. If you look it up, it's the same fucking NGO. They just changed the name. It's the same people. BLM and Free Palestine are the same fucking people. They're literally funded by the same NGOs, and
Yes, they are.
guess who they are? George fucking Soros. So when you put that together, now you got they lost. Okay, they spent millions and millions and millions of dollars, so they're gonna at least put a pause on this, right after the election. So now what you're seeing is you're seeing organic protests, right? And the organic protests are fucking laughable.
They're pathetic.
They're
Yeah.
laughable.
Hey, you want to see a good organic protest? I'll go back 4 years and show you what we did on Long Island. It was all organic, and we had 50,000 people out that were pissed off about lockdowns.
Well,
Nobody got paid
an
to show
organic
up.
protest would be like the fucking 2020 Virginia Capitol fucking protest where a
With the
hundred what was it
guns. Yeah.
100,000 people showed up with guns, and they
Yep.
changed the fucking law that day.
Yes,
That's an
they
organic
did.
an organic protest is January 6th. That's an organic protest. And
Yes.
they were so terrified of that because nobody funded it. They go, "Holy shit, we can't get these numbers when we throw money at it."
Right.
That's what scared them. That's why they think January 6th is the worst day in history, because it showed them what we can do if we organize.
That's
Oh
true.
man, I got another.
There's some news out of Los Angeles. Just sent out alerts to everyone in Los Angeles telling them to boil water since their water pressure is low. There is no water for fires or for drinking in the entire
Oh my
city.
god. Oh,
Is this when Bongino says, "Is it bad enough yet?"
bro,
I have to ask California,
it's
is it bad enough? Is this bad enough?
Stella with OAN. She just made a post and she was like, people ask me why I don't leave California. She's like, because it's my home, and you don't leave someplace just because it's bad. You try to make it better. And I'm like, but there is a certain point where you do
There's
leave
a
a
point.
place, right? It's like there is a certain point where you go, yeah, no, I'm leaving, right? And I
Yeah.
think that it's now. Like, I
I
mean,
got up and out of New York real quick.
I got out of
We got out of
Massachusetts.
there.
I got out of Massachusetts when I couldn't afford to live anymore, right? Like I came to
Exactly.
Texas because I was tired of the cost of living. It was in 2017, so it wasn't when it got crazy, but I saw the writing on the wall. I got the fuck out of there. I come down to Texas. I go back and visit, years later, and I'm like, holy shit, did I fucking time the bottom or what? Right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
I fucking timed it. Like, I didn't do it on purpose, but I timed it where I got out of there right in time because
Yeah, we got out of New York and it was bad, and it somehow got worse.
the same exact. I know the owner of the apartment I used to live in. I know the homeowner, right? The apartment that I was living in, which is Quincy, Massachusetts. It's about 10 miles from the city. I could look and see the Boston skyline even though I wasn't technically in Boston. 1750. It was about 1,000 square feet. Um it was technically a two bedroom, but one of the bedrooms you could barely fit a twin size in. So it was kind of like a one bedroom with an office. That was 1750 when I lived there. It's 2,900 now.
Oh my god!
7 years ago.
Holy cow!
7 years ago.
Wow.
7 years ago. It's fucking 20. It's almost doubled. So I couldn't afford that. My place right
No.
now that I live in. You see this nice place behind me? It's fucking $1,500 a month. I live downtown. I have 2 waterfalls and a fucking pool. I have a rooftop overlooking the city. I have a fucking courtyard with a dog park in it. It's a fucking nice place. If I wanted to live in a shittier place like I used to in fucking Boston, I would probably be paying 900 a month, maybe 1,000. But Texas is just and no state taxes. I was paying the last year I was in Massachusetts, I think my state taxes were $20,000 for my business. So I off the rip, I saved 20 grand a year, and that's 7 years ago. It's probably way more now. I don't know how anybody lives there. My buddies that live there still in Massachusetts, one of my best friends still lives with his mother. One of my other best friends still lives in the same fucking apartment with his wife and 2 children, and that place is maybe 1,000 square feet with 2 floors, right? So it's like 500 square foot bottom, 500 square foot
Yeah,
top. They're on top of each other. And my
that's
Yeah,
unbelievable.
it's like, dude, you can't survive there. And so
No.
when a place becomes untenable, you leave, and what happens is you leave, and then the people might be like, "Hey, maybe we should make it cheaper to live here." Then they make it better, and you come back. But if you just keep on staying and taking and eating shit and saying thank you, it's not gonna get any better. And that's what happens with California. People are like, the weather's nice. Yeah, the weather's also nice in Florida and in
Well,
Texas.
the weather and the weather's not nice right now.
Oh my
So,
god,
you know,
it's fucking
is it bad enough? We'll see.
Yeah, exactly. And the fucking with California, not only do they have wildfires, they have rolling fucking brownouts because their grid
Mm-hmm.
can't handle all the clean energy that they're producing. I mean, Hollywood is essentially keeping that whole fucking state afloat.
Yep. Yep. That's it. That's all they got.
Oh.
That's all they got.
Hollywood,
And a couple
no,
baseball teams.
they got the tech industry. Well, people are flooding.
Oh, Silicon Valley.
People are
Silicon
flooding
Valley.
out of Silicon Valley, though.
But they're leaving.
Yeah,
Yeah, right.
and you know what I
They're
thought?
getting out of there. Well, why would you stay there? It's not a tax-friendly
You know what I
state.
thought was really interesting about the Zuckerberg announcement? He announced that he's also moving his
He's going to
headquarters to
Texas.
Texas.
Yeah,
Now, do
of
you know
course.
what that means, people? That is a very big deal. That is a huge deal, actually. He's moving to Texas, which means you are now open for lawsuits in Texas. And Texas has HB 20 moving through the courts right now. I've talked about HB 20 before.
So this is that social media bill,
Texas HB 20. Texas is
the
the
censorship bill.
only state in the nation that has a social media bill that had become law. It's already been put into law, and then they kicked it back down to the appellate court. So it's still right now going through the process, and the Supreme Court is going to hear arguments on it. If that goes through, then I am going to sue the absolute fuck out of Facebook.
I wonder if that's also part of why he's trying to roll back the censorship, because he knows by moving to Texas he's now liable.
100%. That's part of it. 100%.
What is it? Was it SB 20 or HB 20?
HB 20. Yeah, House
HB
House
20.
House
Okay.
Bill 20. I believe in January or February of last year, the Supreme Court heard oral arguments, and it got kicked back down to the appellate court. And right now, it's working its way back through the system. But once
It prohibits large social media platforms from removing or moderating or labeling posts made by users in the state of Texas based on their viewpoints.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's literally that simple.
Yeah.
It's if they shut you down for what you said, you can sue them. That's what it in layman's terms. So I've been shut down how many times? Like fucking, I'm on my third Instagram account.
It says it only pertains to Texas residents, though.
Exactly. It's only
Yeah.
pertain. We are the only state in the nation. It only pertains to Texas.
Right. So if you get censored, but you're in Florida, you
Yeah.
can't sue. But if you're in Texas, pretty big state, you can
Yep.
sue.
Exactly. We'll
So
see. All right, boys and girls. I think we got through everything. Let's do the shout outs. We got Crazy Moan McGroin in here. Stassi for real. That's Gina. We got Moon
Gina.
McDare, K Hart 917, 508 J Fisher. Viking Scion. Is that a new one?
Sounds new. I don't remember
Yeah,
that one.
I'm Canadian. I have some names for Trudeau. Oh, if you're Canadian, yeah, you must be new. All right, we got some new people.
I bet
You
you.
know,
I bet you the Canadian names for Trudeau are 4 letters long.
and then we got Sandy up at the top. Did you notice my Twitter's blowing up a little bit? I'm up to
Yeah.
20K.
I
I
saw
changed
that.
my banner at the top for the
And I saw your profile
yeah.
picture too. You got a colorful
Well, you know
profile
what?
picture.
So I changed the profile picture. I didn't even think of this, right? Some dude, some former MLB dude was trashing Isabella DeLuca, and he wrote this fucking like 8 paragraph thing about how
Who was it? Which
I don't
MLB guy?
remember. A former MLB star, and so he writes this whole book, and he goes, and Isabella DeLuca, she posted screenshots when I slid into her DMs and asked if she wanted to play just the tip, and then I commented and I go, all I got from this whole book that you just wrote was you're mad about Isabella turning you down and embarrassing you, and then he comes,
Oh, Aubrey Huff.
yes, Aubrey Huff, that guy.
God, he used to be based. He's just stupid
Yeah.
now.
So anyway, so he comes at me and he goes, "Oh, nice coming from an account that's too cowardly to show their face." And I go, "Bro, that's my trademarked logo, and I have a podcast that's pinned." And I do daily videos every day. It's not about not showing my face, but it got me thinking. I'm like, wait a minute, maybe I do look a little. I didn't even realize my account kind of looked like an anon account. And I was like, so I'm gonna
Right.
swap it out. So I swapped it out for my face. But when I was
Good.
doing that, I put
That's a
the
good move.
I had Grok make me a banner, and the Grok,
Oh, that was Grok. I had a feeling that was
yeah,
Grok banner. It's pretty
I
good.
had Grok make me a banner. It says TMP uncensored on Rumble, 7 a.m. CT, Tuesdays through Thursdays. So hopefully that means
Nice.
hopefully that's why Viking Scion came in here. And oh, growing a big McGroin's in the chat too, a late entry. I already said that, but anyway. I'm gonna get to bed. I'm gonna hopefully get some fucking sleep. It's gonna be night 2 with the new mask for my fucking CPAP. I'm doing that now.
Hmm.
I my
Interesting.
CPAP that I got, I was up in Boston talking to my buddy about it, and he kind of convinced me. He goes, you got apnea, because he heard me snoring. And I was like, yeah, I know. I've had it for years. I know. And he's like, you should get a CPAP. And then he showed me on the website there was one that was $400. I thought they were thousands of dollars.
Yeah, they're cheaper
They're
now.
cheaper now. But I got the mask that came with it, and I had it for a week. And fucking thing, I kept on ripping it off in my sleep. But I got a new one yesterday, and I used it for the first time, and it stayed on. So we'll see if
Good.
it works.
Good.
Hopefully, because if it does work, I keep hearing that it's like a life-changing thing, where it's like I did a sleep study, and the results of the sleep study was that I slept for 4 minutes and 30 seconds of real sleep. So hopefully more than that. Anyway, all right, boys and girls. Shawn, you got anything you want to shout out before you go?
No, I'm pretty much fresh out of a new stuff. It's all good things.
All right. Well,
Hopefully we start feeling better here. Brendan's pretty a little sick under the weather, so we
Yeah.
got some sort of flu going around. I'm
Well,
hoping I don't get it, but
I've been off for almost 3 weeks. I'm starting my fucking job back up on Monday. I can't fucking wait. And I just got a call today for a huge job right up the street at Dick's Last Resort. They want me to do a big inlay mosaic with the fucking name of the building, and it's gonna be great. So I won't be trolling as much starting next week, but you have me until then. And I will
gotcha.
see you guys tomorrow morning, and then it'll be Thursday. So peace.